Hello, my name is Charles Goldfarb, and I'm thrilled to welcome you to another episode of the AOA podcast, Lessons in Orthopedic Leadership. We have a very special guest today, that is AOA President Ann Van Heest, and we have a really interesting topic to discuss today. So first of all, Ann, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, Chuck, for having me. It's great to chat with you tonight.
Absolutely. So one of the many responsibilities you have as AOA President is to represent our organization in the Carousel presidency. And I have to be honest, it's a term that I've heard for years, and I don't really understand it. So we're going to take the opportunity of this podcast for you to help me and all our listeners understand better. So just start with the basics. What is the meaning of a Carousel president? Who are the Carousel presidents? Just give us some perspective, please.
Well, thank you, Chuck. And it is my honor and privilege as president of the AOA to represent the AOA in what is called the Carousel presidency. It's kind of an interesting term, but if you think about it a little bit as a merry-go-round, and what happens is that each president, when they get to their annual meeting, the former president, past president gets off, and the new president gets on. So you aren't traveling with the same 6 presidents throughout your presidency, but rather it's a carousel. And as the carousel goes, the different presidents will get on and off. So that's the background behind carousel presidency.
And which countries are a part of this carousel?
So the carousel is composed of the sitting presidents of specific English-speaking orthopedic organizations based on a history. The first history that I'm aware of is that in June of 1952, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, she presented an engraved jewel of office to the American Orthopaedic Association, the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons, the other AOA, the Australian Orthopaedic Association, the British, Canadian, New Zealand, and South African. So I think all of these countries had some sort of an association with England, and it was the Queen Mother that brought us all together and formalize the carousel relationship.
I didn't realize that both the Academy, the Orthopedic Academy president and the AOA president were part of the carousel.
We are both part of the carousel. The AAOS does it a little bit differently. They do not do the sitting president, but rather they have the past president. And additionally, the other groups that are in the organization do a retreat associated with their annual meeting. And the AAOS does not participate in that aspect of it. But they are one of the traveling presidents that joins us for each aspect of the carousel meetings.
Yeah, that's amazing. And in your previous role as president-elect, you had the opportunity to interact with some of the carousel presidents, I assume. And I understand, and my interactions have been, it's a remarkable group of people.
Yeah, so to be honest, Chuck, I haven't really been able to interact with the carousel presidents as much as I think I would like to. And I think this is a really unique opportunity to get to know a really distinguished group of international leaders on a little bit more personal level. As you know, we do try to usually include the carousel presidents as part of our annual AOA meeting. But again, that's on a fairly limited basis. And this will be able to give me a deeper understanding of the different international leaders and gives us more of a world perspective.
Yeah, the participation, I know you were conflicted at the time of this session, but the participation of the carousel presidents in one of our sessions in Salt Lake City for the annual meeting was remarkable. Just a great group of people, and they had really, really interesting perspectives. So I think we're planning to continue that next year in St. Louis, which will be fantastic.
Yeah, it's a great way to offer a perspective that I think oftentimes in the United States, we don't get to see that. And it is something that, again, adds diversity to our leadership organization by being able to include and be inclusive of different cultures.
Now, how much travel does this require of you in the coming year? What does your travel schedule look like? And I mean, it sounds amazing to be able to travel to all these places, but it also sounds like it'll be a lot.
Yeah, I really look forward to it as a unique opportunity because it's something I haven't been able to do before. And on the advice of some of the previous presidents, I'm actually going to take a 3-month sabbatical associated with this so that I can try to maximize the amount of time that I'm able to spend in the different countries.
And so do you visit all of the other Carousel countries for their annual meeting? Is that how it works?
Yeah, so the schedule is set up so that all of the presidents come to each other's annual meetings. So the first scheduled meeting is the South African Orthopaedic Association meeting, and that will be held the first week of September. And as part of that, they have asked each of us to participate and be part of their program for various aspects, either a carousel symposium or also in your subspecialty area or in a diversity area I will be doing with South Africa. The next meeting will be the British Orthopaedic Association meeting, and that will be in the middle of September and hosted by Dr. Deborah Eastwood. And the carousel presidents will be participating in a symposium regarding sustainability, and then also each in our subspecialty area. So that's our September schedule.
I think the value of your participation in this carousel is really interesting. I know that you have specific plans to interview the different presidents to share some of their expertise with our membership. Can you share a little bit with us today about your plans?
Yeah, so I think today's podcast is a little bit of an introduction and a kickoff to a series that we'll be holding in our podcast, Lessons for Orthopedic Leadership. And specifically, I plan to help share with the AOA community some of the lessons in orthopedic leadership from across the world. So my plans are to be interviewing each of the carousel presidents and hope that we can learn significantly from each of them.
I love that. And I think you had plans to talk about a few different topics. Can you share those with our listeners today?
Yeah, I'm really excited about talking to each of these countries about several different areas. First, because each of these individuals are incredible leaders in themselves, I'm going to be asking them about their journey to their leadership position and any tips that they may have for members of the AOA in our organization. I also would like to ask them about critical issues. As you know, the AOA is a critical issues organization and leading musculoskeletal health care in the United States. And I think adding the perspective of each of these countries, including South Africa, Britain, New Zealand, Australia, and Canada, will really provide great information for our membership. I also will be asking them a bit. I'm very interested about their graduate medical education process. Each of these countries has similar but different mechanisms for training competent orthopedic surgeons. So I'm very excited to hear and contrast the different training programs that each of these countries provide. And then lastly, I think I would like to ask each of them about diversity for a number of reasons. First of all, I think each of these countries provides diversity in that we are all bringing our own cultural aspects of orthopedic surgery and what kind of different international diversity this group can bring, as well as the diversity issues that exist in their own country, which will probably be similar, but then again, different challenges for each country.
Yeah, that sounds absolutely awesome. The teaser is helpful. I think we will all be tuning in and look forward to your podcast. I think I better understand the Carousel President program, and I'm looking forward to learning more from you and your interviews with the different presidents. Any final comments you have or additional comments you have about the process?
Well, I am just excited and privileged to represent the AOA as I travel across the world and learn about these different orthopedic organizations. I think it has been great to be involved with some other international mission work that I have done, but I have never really been involved with the orthopedic associations of each of these countries. So I really look forward to the opportunity, not only to participate, but also to share that with this podcast family.
I love it. Well, thank you on behalf of all the AOA members for going out there, representing us, and bringing back some lessons for us to learn further. And thanks for taking the time today.
Oh, thanks for having me, Chuck. I look forward to checking back in with you as I complete these travels and these podcast interviews.
Fantastic.